The Olympics began about a week ago, and before they began, whether it's summer or winter, I think I had absolutely no interest. But usually around day number 2 or 3, I turn on the television, I see some competition, I'm just drawn into it. And then I find myself most evenings at 9 o'clock turning on the television, trying to catch the highlights or the last competitions of the day. It's really inspiring what they're able to do. I just think I could never do that. Or could I? Yesterday, a young family was visiting me from out of town. Because of the 3 kids, we were looking at going to Myron Park. But it was raining, and then we were kind of stalling. But it was on and off rain, and thought, oh, let's just go over there, and the wood is going to be all wet. And we went there, and they have a balance beam. So this brave 6-year-old boy by the name of Charlie propped him up there. Now this balance beam is less than 4 inches wide like the Olympic ones, because it's rounded. It works like a teeter-totter as you walk across it. It's also about 4 feet off the ground, and it's wet. Charlie bravely made it across. And then his older sister Megan got up there, about 11 years old, I believe, and she walked, and I thought, in the Olympic spirit? And I started getting up on that beam, and I didn't want my clothes to get all dirty, but then I realized at almost 44, I'm not as flexible, so I'm just going to not worry about the clothes so much. And I started in a crouch position, thinking, how am I going to get my feet under me sitting on this wood beam, and it's slippery. And so I kind of started getting my feet, I don't bend that well, and there's no giant for me to put my hand on his shoulder, and as I was coming out of the crouch position, boom! I had a feeling it wasn't going to be easy, and I was right. So I landed in these wet wood chips, and they were kind of muddy, and I jumped up as quickly as I could and thought, the Olympics are stupid.
That was a full 1-point deduction.
Yeah, nobody else got 0 on their scorecard. The second reading today actually paints this Olympic stadium kind of experience. Paul, or the letter to the Hebrews, talks about all of us who are in a competition, the competition of life. The competition sometimes we experience even within ourselves. We know what the right thing to do, and yet we choose the lesser good, and we sin instead of choosing the greater good, and we struggle in our relationships, and really being Christ to others, and being forgiving, and letting go of the control of our lives, and just trusting God in His goodness, and being faithful no matter what other people are saying about us. And there's this beautiful passage, brothers and sisters, since we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. It's like this stadium, cloud of witnesses. The Greek word is martyrios. It means a big cloud of martyrs, people who have already died for the faith. And they're not in this stadium to judge us, they're in this stadium to cheer us on. And he says, so we have to persevere in running. We have to persevere in running the race. But he knows it's hard, and sometimes dangerous, and it's difficult, and we want to give up. And he gives us the key to how to stay faithful in life when we just think, this is too hard. It's too hard to live the gospel. And this is the secret. Persevere in running the race that lies before us while keeping our eyes fixed on Jesus Christ. When you know the finish line is there, and he says when we have our eyes fixed on Jesus, he says think about how he endured opposition from sinners, so that when you grow weary and lose heart, you're thinking about the opposition he had to overcome. And that he endured the cross. And he didn't go up on a dais to receive a gold medal. He has taken his seat And we don't think we can forgive one more time. Or we're getting discouraged. Sometimes discouraged and frustrated with ourselves. We lose patience. We wish we had more control. We wish we were perfect. We wish we saw some more improvement in ourselves. When we're running this race called life, we can get discouraged. Let us keep our eyes on Christ and never give up.